Hello, everyone, and welcome to Keys to the Good Life with Chioma. I'm your host, Chioma, realtor here in Houston, Texas, and I am so happy to be here today. I have a special guest that's going to be joining me. We're going to be talking about all things real estate and life today. That's what the show is all about. It's all about, what makes you as a person have a whole life. So whether it's your business, your lifestyle, spiritually, physically. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But today I have, one of the movers and shakers of it's already looking at me. One of the movers and shakers. If there's anyone that knows a thing or two about success, real estate, it has to be my guest. So please help me to welcome Victor Luffy McLean. Hi, Victor. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to have you here. But before we dive into it, can you just introduce yourself? Let the audience know who is Victor, and in 2 minutes or less.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chioma, for having me. I'm so glad that you decided to have me here with your audience. Talk about keys to a successful life, real estate, especially. So my name is Victor Lofton Mack, and like you said, I'm a veteran of the United States Navy. I did 20 years in the U.S. Navy, 10 years as active duty, and 10 years in the reserves. In the last 10 years of my reserve career, I also went into business, primarily real estate. So in 2013, 2014, I started my real estate career. And then fast forward, very blessed, worked very hard. So we have a real estate company, a mortgage company, property management, insurance, a CE school to help educate realtors and loan officers, and a few other companies like that. Also, we're very lucky to have authored a few books. We have 3 books out there. The first one is called Success Made Simple. The second one is called Finding Happiness is Your Only Purpose. And then the third one is called Will You Ever Be Rich? And
That's my favorite one.
That's everybody's favorite book right now. It's number 8 on Amazon bestseller list.
Yeah.
It's sold around the globe. It's been very popular.
Yeah.
You should get reviews on that. Just generally, that's kind of about me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Okay. 20 years in the military.
Correct.
Wow. So Victor happens to be my broker. We at Fedel Realty, betraying one of the best realtors in Houston, Texas. I said it.
Absolutely.
So that is the reason for I feel like whenever I meet you, there's this passion, there's this drive. Like talking to you, you're like, come on, let's go, get up and go. So that's kind of like your military background. Is that what it is?
Well, I think the military has had a lot of influence in my life,
Yeah.
Business-wise, personally, and a few other things. And, I joined the military, like I said, over 20 years ago now. I've been retired for a while now.
Yeah.
And I've advocated and I've assisted several Nigerians to also join the military, not only as enlisted, also as an officer.
Yeah.
And I think, the military puts a lot of different drive in you. For example, when you're first joining the military, everyone is a leader from day one, right? So like in the civilian world where, it takes you a while to become a leader, you join the military today, they're going to put you in charge of a program.
Okay.
And say, hey, Chioma, those 2 people over there, you're responsible for them to getting them to the office, get them to the dining hall.
Yeah.
You're responsible for cleaning this whole place. You're responsible for, not cleaning, make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
Or you're responsible for issuing these uniforms to these new enlisted soldiers. So you have a program that becomes yours.
Yeah.
And that now trains you to know how to look for solutions, know how to identify issues and look for solutions without waiting for some boss who will tell you how to do it. Just that also, of course, there's a lot we all know the military there's a lot of discipline within the organization. I think for me, lastly, is that you get to a point in the military where, I know this is not a military show, but where, you either succeed or you die. So, for example, if I go to war, I either succeed or I die. And you take that attitude with you and all the things you do. So when you go to the workforce or as a business person, it's not as dire, but now you have that attitude of I either have to succeed.
Yes, it's like success or nothing.
Exactly.
Failure is not an option.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's not an option. Yeah. So I always tell people that, your goals are non-negotiable. The activities to achieve your goals are you can work longer hours, do whatever you need to do, cheat, beg, cry, claw, whatever it is, trick someone, but you have to be successful.
Wow. Well, that's powerful. Like your goals, they are non-negotiable. And that's what I'm saying, guys. That's the don't get mindset, that Victor has had. And it shows, right? It shows in over the years, even in the business, real estate business, a lot of people, that's part of what our values are, fair deal, is integrity.
Right.
Building that over time. So that's okay, that's profound. One of the things I wanted to ask you, Victor, is can you tell me what does a good life mean to you? That's one of the questions I like to ask my guests.
Interesting.
It means different things to different people. But to you, Victor, what does it mean to have a good life?
Interesting. Wow, that's a deep question. Sorry, what was the question? I think my answer tends to be a little controversial. Because a lot of people look at life from a religious perspective, or from a family perspective, or from a money perspective.
Sure.
One of my things I say that, life, my second book says finding happiness is your only purpose. So I believe a good life has to do with happiness. Whatever form that you find happiness, it's very important. Now, how do you get happiness, right? Maybe success financially, maybe a good relationship can help get that, happiness, having freedom to do what you need to do, happiness, good health, happiness. So a lot of things, but ultimately it has to do with happiness. And I think that, unfortunately, in my opinion, in this day and age that we are in right now, the society has not given enough emphasis on creating a culture that's built around happiness. So I just create a culture built around, quite frankly, unhappiness, right? Because all of our culture is built around envy. I want what the other person has. I want what the other person has. And one of my, I'm not very religious. One of my favorite parts of the Bible, I'm sure it says something about how life is meaningless. Vanity upon vanity, it's all vanity.
Yes.
Right. And I think I use it a lot to say, well, everything that, I think is robbing me of my happiness. It really is meaningless at the end of the day. So if I'm going through a point where I'm having too much stress and too much tension, too much unhappiness, I come way down here. Let this go. Focus on the really important things in life. It's really you being happy, and then focus on what makes you happy, the relationships, the gathering of people and those things, and to me, that's what is a real meaning of life, in my opinion.
So Victor, so you're saying that money alone cannot make me happy.
Correct.
So it's beyond money. It's beyond the financial. It has to do with relationships. It has to do with building other things that can truly make someone happy.
Absolutely, and I see where you're going with that call, because usually when I say these to people, so well, which is easy for you to say that because you have money now. They always say that too, right? But I don't think so, because before I got to where I am, I've always had that attitude of happiness. I think I was kind of learned this earlier in my college career. And quite frankly, most people, it's hard to succeed if you don't have a heart of gratitude, if you're not a happy person in the first place, right? Because when you're not happy, you see the negative part of everything, of every transaction. You're more pessimistic, those kind of things. So of course, not everyone is rich is happy, but most people that become rich are happy regardless of whether the money is $1 billion or 10 million, because they have this to become rich. You have this. To become rich, generally you have this sense of that I control my own destiny. I control my own future. Right? Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, they knew they controlled their own destiny. So whether it was $1 million or $1 billion, generally they're happy overall. So I think it's not just about money. But you're right. Up of say, but you say it's not just this. It's not only about that.
Absolutely. I like that. It's the gratitude, because you can go through life, have all the money, and then you still feel empty. So for you, whatever it is, if even if you're not that religious, spiritual, but find something that you can truly hold on to and say, oh, I want to be successful because of family, or if it's family relationships, to truly say, okay, I'm happy regardless of how much is in my bank account.
Yes.
Love that. So in terms of success, what would you say, success means to you, and what has helped you over the years to kind of remain successful?
Okay, so success is very important to
Yeah.
happiness generally in life. Success is very important to happiness. Success is very important to having a well-rounded life, right? So happiness and success. So most of my books and most of my talks is about happiness and success. And I think there's a few key things that helps you become successful in life. I think one of them is accountability. So I have a saying that says that an ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things if you're organized and accountable, right? So if you don't, if there's no accountability in your life, you're not pursuing something, you don't have people around you pushing you forward, it's hard to be successful in life, right?
Yeah.
And I tend to say that, you can't hold yourself accountable. Only people and systems can. Now, very people, maybe people like Kobe Bryant and people can hold themselves accountable, but generally most people can't. And without accountability, without you taking a scorecard day in, day out. Am I doing what I said I'm going to do?
Yep.
Am I making as many phone calls? Am I working as many hours? Am I avoiding things I'm going to avoid? Without doing those things, am I putting, a guardrails around me to which I'm successful? So accountability is very powerful. There's a lot of other things, but being organized, being accountable is a very key driver of success.
Okay.
Of course, things like, having mentors and those things are all part of it. If I had to pick, one or two things, I'll say accountability is probably, it's a breakfast of champions. People like Kobe Bryant, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, it's all about accountability and showing up day in, day out. Whether you're tired, whether you're on vacation, whatever the case is, you're showing up and you're being great every day.
Absolutely. And people sometimes think that accountability, you have to have this mighty person. It could just be, your friend, or so a friend that's serious, by the way.
Of course.
In the business like we do, we have, mentors. It could be your mentor that's holding you accountable, your teammates holding you accountable. So don't feel like you have to have this mighty, person, and that you report. No, it could be someone that you trust, that is wanting you to succeed as well as you want to succeed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So, many people hold themselves back due to I'm not good enough or fear. So what's one fear that you've had to overcome in your journey, and how did you push against that?
So, there's what I call in my first book, Success Made Simple. I think chapter 2 of it says, the abnormal fear of failure, which is called kakoraphobia. It's a phobia. So basically, that most of us generally are afraid of failure. Some are afraid of success. And there are three key things that I use to overcome the fear of failure. One is I look at if I take this approach and I fail, I usually call it worst case scenario. Right. Okay. So what's the worst thing can happen, right? Yeah. If I don't make this step, I'm gonna be at ground zero. If I make this step and I fail, I'm gonna be at ground zero. Either I'm gonna be at ground zero. Yeah. So I'm going to set the chance and try to do something. Okay, would I go hungry? Will my family starve? Yeah. If I take a chance on this project, what's the worst thing that can happen? And oftentimes it's not as bad as it is. Yeah. So I take a chance. I use the worst case scenario analysis. Okay, what was going to happen? And even with the worst case scenario, I always have some what they call it. Some decisions are reversible, some are irreversible. And if my decision is reversible, then I'll take a chance on it. If it's an irreversible decision, where if I do this stuff and I lose it, I've lost it all. Then I might be a little more cautious on it. But there are very few things in life that's irreversible. For example, say I want to quit my day job and I want to go to business. Well, if you don't succeed in business, there's always going to be plenty of jobs out there. You might not get the same job, but there's going to be plenty of jobs. So it's a reversible situation. So I use that a lot. I use that worst case scenario. I also use what I call plan of action and milestone. Remember earlier I talked about people, the ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things if they are organized and accountable. So the plan of action and milestone is like a plan of I want to do this, and I put some vision around it, some deadline and plan around it. Okay, so I want to open a new company, a media company. Well, when I want to have that started by the end of next year. And I work my way backwards. What do I do first? What do I do second? Let's do third. And I put date, because we are more afraid of failure because this task seems so big and
Yes, that we don't even want to.
right.
But Victor, you have to hold these thoughts because we need to talk about this reversible and reversible decision. But right now we have a commercial break, and then once we come back, we'll pick back up on where we left off because I really want to dive into this reversible versus irreversible decisions. So please stay tuned. We're going on a commercial break now, and I will see you shortly. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back to the Keys to the Good Life show with Chioma. And before we went on a commercial break, we were talking about decisions, right? So reversible versus irreversible decisions. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and how it relates to success?
Okay, so I think the bigger question we had at that point was how to avoid the fear of failure, right? So a lot of people have a fear of failure, so they don't take action.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that I use three different models. One is a worst case scenario, which under that we have the reversible and irreversible decision.
Yeah.
The other one is a plan of action, a milestone. I was kind of go about how I take big task and I break it down into small actionable tasks with a timeline. I'm going to go by the third one first. I'm going to go back to the reversible and irreversible. So the third one is basically using mentors, so using the guide of mentors. So I don't start any big project without talking to about three people that are already in that industry, kind of guide me on what to do, how to do, why to do, what can I look out for, what are my pitfalls. Yeah. So I always look for can I get three people that can kind of guide me in that industry? Is it worth it? Then I'll use the plan of action and milestone and also worst case scenario. Now, when I'm doing my worst case scenario, I always think about the decision I'm about to make. It's a big decision, obviously. That's why I'm afraid of failure or not afraid of failure. Is it a reversible or an irreversible decision? Most decisions are reversible. Yeah. So if they're reversible, I won't be so worried about taking the decision, right? So again, like I was saying, I give it an instance of, let's say I'm thinking of leaving my day job to do some business on my own. Now, some parts of them are going to be reversible. Say I have a job with Chevron. Maybe I can get a job back with Chevron that easily. Maybe I'll have a job with the federal government. Maybe I can get a job back with the federal government easily. Right. But I can always get a job. Yeah. It might be not what I was making before, but I can always get a job if I decide to go out on my own. Yeah. So let's say I decide to take a chance and invest money in something, right? As long as I don't invest my whole life savings and my kids' future, I can always make more money back. Yeah. If I feel that I can always make money back. So some things are reversible, some things are irreversible. Yeah. That's how I think about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because getting a mentor that like cuts down time in half almost, right? Because then you don't have to figure out everything from scratch. They've done this for years. They have the experience. All you're just doing is leveraging on that experience and making it your own.
Exactly.
And things like that. So a lot of people might be, if you are scared to reach out to a mentor, find one. But I'm kind of curious to know, like, how do you go about finding your mentors? Is it just something that's because sometimes if I want to approach you now, Victor, and I say, Victor wants to mentor me without any, they can make a little bit of pushback and then you get discouraged even when you want to find another mentor. But how do you pick your mentor and what do you do?
So it's a very good question. So, some questions in my opinion, maybe some sort of elementary. Yeah. But I like that question a lot because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about that question. Yeah. So one thing I tell people that are looking for mentors is that, and they still make a lot of mistakes, is that most will look to get before they give. Yep. Right?
I like
so
that.
In life, you need to look to give first before you get. Right. So let's just say I want to come to you to mentor me. Yeah. And I say, hey, Chioma, you're very successful as a person. Right. I'm trying to do a deal. Can you mentor me? Yeah. Right. Is that the right approach? No. That's not the right approach.
So what? So
right. Yeah. So generally, if you're successful, what are you? Busy.
Yes.
Right. If you're successful, you're very busy. Yeah. probably have a lot put at you, a lot of responsibilities.
And a lot of people asking that same question almost, can you mentor me? So you
Right.
probably get a lot of those requests.
Exactly. You get a lot of those requests already.
Yeah.
So like you spend your time just giving, you won't, if you're doing all that, you won't be successful in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. So, but let's say I figured out, okay, Chioma is in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
General people in real estate need more hands-on analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You say, hey, Miss Chioma, I know you're very busy. I respect that. I understand that. I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I assist you? I know you probably drive you're probably on the road a lot.
Yes.
Right. And when you're on the road a lot, you probably can do other work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind volunteering some of my hours, be 3 hours a month. I'll come to your house, pick you up, right? I'm just gonna be a fly on the wall. If I can sneak in a question in every now and then, would you mind if I help you? Would you mind that? Now, is that a better approach than just can
you mentor me?
Exactly.
Wow.
Right. So a lot of people always, just one thing I see people make mistakes about is they seek to take
without actually wanting to give back
first. So you always want to give first, not just in mentoring, even in business, right? Even when I see people that, even in real estate, we want to negotiate. If you have the heart of giving first, right? When I call clients, I don't say clients giving your business. Say clients, can I assist you with this? I want to assist you with this issues that you're having, not just give me a deal so I can go make more money for myself, right? So I think that's one approach. Another thing I talk about all the time is that when people say, "How can I find mentors?" So I ask you a question that it just depends how motivated you are to find a mentor. So if I say I want to go into let's say I want to be a developer. Also developing properties. And I can say, Chioma, I need your help. I'm going to pay you $100,000 if you can find me 3 mentors by Friday. Can you do it for that? Can you do it for me? Can you? Probably. Okay. What if I'm going to pay you 500 grand if you can find me 3 mentors by Friday? Can you do it for me?
Now we are talking. I'll figure it out.
You figure it out. So now there's enough motivation for you to figure it out. But when you forget the right mentor, 100 grand, 500 grand might be peanuts in the next 3 years. So are you motivated enough to go look for that? And because if I offer that to you, you will take time, you go knock on doors, you call people, you spend 5 hours
do what you have to do
to get the mentor. Exactly. So depending on how motivated you are to get that mentor. If you're not motivated, there's nothing I tell your audience now, they won't do it.
Yeah, true. Very true. So there's motivation and then there's the attitude of giving first before you.
Correct.
I hope you guys are taking notes because this is some gems that we're dropping here. I just thank you so much for that. That's profound. It sounds like a basic question, but that's just one of the things I know that some people just don't know.
Right.
And if no one has really told you about it, then you don't really know how to go about these things. So are you saying that if you don't have everything figured out, you shouldn't take risk?
If you don't have it figured out, you can take risk. Well, you're never gonna have everything figured out, right? So but you gotta make the best decision with the information you have at hand. No one has everything figured out. Not the U.S. government, not Elon Musk, not wherever you think has it figured out. One thing you will learn is that even the biggest companies you see are all just rooted to the answer. Right? We're all trying to figure it out and creating systems. I've had people that work in the likes of public traded company, Amazon and Google, those kind of things, and they will call me and say, "How do you do this in your company? We're trying to figure out a good way to do this, right here." But they're still embarking on projects and they're taking their steps. So no, you won't figure it out. As a matter of fact, trying to figure out everything before you do it is a way of not succeeding because you will not figure it out, right? So it's another way of finding excuses not to take progress. I did some programs in Stanford University. One of the things we talk about over there is that you fail early, fail often.
Fail fast.
Fail fast. We gotta get out there and get started. Get out there and try something until it works out. Okay,
I like that. So I'm just going to be asking you some myths. I'm just going to give me yes, this is what you think.
Okay.
So what do you think about? I'm really laughing about this. Success is all about luck. Some people just get lucky in life. What do you know what I say?
That's a good one. That's a very good one. That's a very good
Some
question.
people are just lucky this life.
You're very good at asking questions. That's a tough one for me to answer because I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think it's both. I think there's a lot of luck that has to do with success. And a lot of people that are successful might not have the humility to say it's all luck that has to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think that, but when you say that, it almost seems like you're excusing people from like not working hard or not trying to go get it. So it's a little bit of both, right? Yeah. You still have to be determined. You have to work hard. You still have to push for it. And they say, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? So, but I also believe in educating yourself. The harder you work, the more you do yourself, the more, like for example, for me, when I want to embark on a new project, I put that I want to read about that project or what that industry is at least 20 minutes a day. And I do it every day. I constantly until I kind of figure something out, until I have a breakthrough. And the more I educate myself, the more I have more confidence to undertake that task in that new project.
And then the risk that becomes little to none because then education and knowledge sort of gives you that guardrail.
Exactly. So you start applying it. So, but I think there's a lot of luck also in success in life.
Yeah.
Not just a luck of you walking in, you run into somebody that's there.
Yeah.
We've heard of the butterfly effect, right? Which, if a butterfly just flap like this and wind blows different than this, and your whole life may be different.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually believe in that. So for example, I was born in the US.
Okay.
Arbitrarily, I didn't plan for that, whatever the case is, right? Mm-hmm. That alone could have changed the trajectory of my life. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't choose to. I didn't plan it. In the military, I was a naval officer. Till today, you cannot be a naval officer unless you were born in the U.S. Unless you're a U.S. citizen. You're a citizen. Okay. Right. So early in those days, if I wasn't a U.S. citizen, it probably take me a lot longer to be a naval officer. Might not be, might not. I've met some, people that I work with, generals I work with, and those kind of things. Right. So there's a lot of luck in there in life, but it doesn't still excuse
determination, hard work, and all of that.
Exactly.
Ooh, wow. You guys, I hope you're taking notes. So this is really serious stuff. So I'm going to ask maybe probably the last one or second to the last. So what do you think about this statement? You have to be rich to invest in real estate. Like, Victor, do I have to have all the money in my bank account to take that step, to invest? There's a lot of people asking, Chioma, you know where I'm going with that question.
You want me to give them the real answer, right? Not the big answer. Not what they want to hear. So real estate by default is capital intensive.
Yeah.
So by investment. So there's what they call, you can either invest in real estate or work in real estate. So I say you either have money or you have energy, money or time. So working in, so I can have superior knowledge and go out there and raise money from people to invest in real estate. But in that case, I have a knowledge of raising money, of doing syndication, those kind of things. But real estate by default, when it comes to investing purely, not just energy, not just putting work into it, it's capital intensive.
Yeah.
For most investment deals, in the US at least, you need about 20%, 30%, sometimes 15%, whatever the number is. You need some capital to kind of get into it. And real estate is expensive, so you maybe you don't need all the money in the world, but you need money.
You need
capital to invest in real estate.
Okay. Well, maybe my last question. So, do you have any exciting projects going on? What can the audience expect from Victor? What's coming or what's cooking? Can you tell us a little bit more?
I will tell you a bit more. I will. And I will tell you why I'm telling you more.
Okay.
This is going to also another thing that will help your audience is that most of us Africans believe in not sharing your goals. If you share with people, then the spiritual forces will come and kill it. And or they will steal it. People will steal it or they will kill it, those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm embarking on two main projects right now.
Okay.
One of them is, as you know, I have a mortgage company called Gazette Mortgage. Okay. We're a mortgage brokerage, but now we're converting that to a mortgage bank. right? So you just got a big lot of credit, so you can actually start issuing loans to our people. So instead of you waiting for an investor making the decision to grant a loan, I can make them to grant a loan for our company, for our audience, means for our clients, for our people, those kind of things. So we're going to start actually issuing the loans in our names sometime this year. I think we're on the finalities of that right now. I'm also embarking on establishing a private equity fund. So I've done syndication in the past, but now we want to kind of help our community, explore their investment game and build more wealth. So we've done syndication for real estate, but now we'll start acquiring other companies under our private equity companies. My two big projects are a private equity company to add to our portfolio companies and to convert this mortgage to a mortgage bank. Another reason why I'm sharing this is, and I believe that it's very important to share your I'm wrap up here to share your goals is because it's about accountability, right? When you share it, we as humans have the need to be consistent with our words. Yeah. Be consistent with our words. If I come here next time and you ask me, "Hey, Victor, how's that going?"
Yeah.
And I can say, "Okay, well, now I know she's gonna hold me accountable. I'm gonna be accountable. Maybe someone's gonna hear this. You can reach out to me and kind of help me out in how to accomplish these goals." So that's why I share my goals for those reasons.
Absolutely. And I want to just this has been really enlightening. I don't know about you, but it's always we need to bring it back. Yeah, you don't 30 minutes is not enough. But thank you so much for watching. I actually this is I told you it's one of my favorite books. I brought it today. So please go, where can you find
so you can get it on Amazon. Will You Ever Be Rich on Amazon or on my website, victorloftbanker.com. Either we can find the book, Will You Ever Be Rich.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for today's show on Keys to the Good Life. I remain your host, Chioma, with Afrovibes Radio. And until next time, keep winning and stay educated. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you.